Hello, my name is Kemigisha Praise. I'm a former student trainee in Denmark, 2021 to 2022, and I am currently a continuing student at Makerere University. One of my friends was enrolled onto one of the programs that Eduserv offers, and so she sent me a link to Eduserv's website. When I visited it, I got to know more information, and that's how I got to apply for the Eduserv programs. Being an agriculture student, specifically working on a dairy farm, I was very impressed with the milking machine, milking machinery, the system, the entire system, how it operates, how it milks the cows, how it is connected to the cows, how it transports the milk from the milking parlor to the tanks, the cooling and the warming system. Everything generally about the milking system was very impressive. And then I would say the most amazing thing that I experienced personally on the farm I was on is how many cows could be milked at a time. Because the parlor that I was working in had 20 cows per side. So that means you could milk 40 cows at a time. So even if you had 500 cows to milk, you would still do it in a very short period of time. I mean, isn't that amazing? 40 cows at a time. And when I got to visit a few other farms that were a bit smaller than the one I was working on, they had maybe 7, that is 14 at a time. Some had 5, that is 10 at a time. And then the whole system, generally how it operates, I can't explain it, but if I had the time I would. But from the beginning, from how it connects itself to the teats of the cow, from how it milks, from how it automatically gets itself off the cow when the milk is done, how it detects that the cow doesn't have milk anymore. I mean, like, the person operating doesn't have to do that. The person has, the person just puts the machine and goes away, and this machine will tell if the milk is done, and it will, get off the cow in itself. It's like automatic. And then the milk, at the end of the milking station, you'll find the milk, telling you, the tank will have a screen showing you how much milk you have milked that day, the temperature it is at, the temperature it's supposed to be on. It's a lot, but very amazing and very impressive. Well, working with students that were from different countries, it was a little bit challenging. I will also repeat the language bit. It was worse, actually, compared to the Danish people. Language was a problem. Communicating was extremely a problem, but teamwork was very helpful. It was a solution, because even if it meant communicating by identifying objects with colors or making signs, as long as you are a team and you're trying to, bring some work together, it was always easy to overcome that. And of course, like every other different culture, there were many differences, food, ways of living. Some things that are normal to us Africans may be offending to the other cultures. So in other words, according to me, I gave it a plus. It was one way of learning, knowing that this may be okay at my home, but then when you move out of your home, there is also something else to learn from the outside people. I didn't have a lot of expectations, to be honest, because it was a whole new experience, but there are a few that I had. For example, I thought Denmark is, yes, I knew, I had read a few things about Denmark. I knew English wasn't their first language, but I thought everywhere English is spoken everywhere, but that wasn't the case. And I also always thought, since it's a high technology farming and modern farming and all that, I always thought there is a lot of relaxing, and that was actually different. People work hard in Denmark, and that is a good thing. So the fact that I had this mindset of There is technology, machines everywhere. I thought there is a lot of relaxing and letting the machines do the work, but it was actually the opposite. Yeah, the machines do the work, but the people also put in a great deal of work. And the English bit, it wasn't as I expected it. People prefer their cultural language. People prefer to speak Danish. So guys, honestly, if you're an agriculture student, everything that you do in class, every kind of theory that you study in class, if you have that enthusiasm to put a hands on and see them and do them, like have a hands on, like the name suggests, Denmark is the right place, Germany is the right place, and every other countries that are on the Eduserv program. That is one thing that one thing that is really amazing, because most of the times, in respect, of course, to my country, but we study a lot. We do a lot of theory in class as agricultural students, but we get to have our hands on a few things. But in those countries, you have a bigger percentage, you have a bigger chance, bigger opportunities. Even you have a chance to visit other farms. You know, if you want, you can actually be working on a piggery farm or a dairy farm, but visit a different farm, horticulture, be on dairy and visit piggery, be on piggery, visit agriculture, because I understand most of courses abroad, they cover all livestock and all that, look at goat farms and all that. So I would really encourage all continuing students who are studying agriculture to apply for these programs, because they are a great way to do your internship or your traineeship. If I'm to mention but a few, when it comes to your curriculum vitae, it's very important, because at the end of the day, whoever will be reading it or looking at it will really see, the moment you suggest or list down the activities you were involved in while in Denmark, it will be something very impressive. And personally, I would encourage someone to learn a new language. It doesn't only help you to live in that country, but it also adds something onto you, because we all know every time you are, if you're a fan of being maybe in foreign countries and all that, every time you have a language that is not English, an international language that is not English added to your CV, it is usually important. And for Denmark and any other European countries that Eduserv is offering, I would advise everyone to learn a new language. I am going to stick on Denmark because it's what I know best. Denmark offers the first 9 months or first 9 levels of language free of charge. So I would encourage you to use that opportunity, because at the end of the day, I like this kind of awareness, because at the end of the day, you deserve it. You learn the language, then the rest of the levels you pay for yourself. And I am sure that they do that to encourage students to learn a new language. So it is something that adds something onto you, and it feels great. It feels great to know that you know a second language. And for those who usually prefer to explore new things, it's easier in Denmark, because believe me, English is not a first language, and the Danish people love their culture. So if you speak their language, life is much more easier for you than just plain English. I don't discourage English, but I am just saying the facts about how European countries, in my case specifically Denmark, they love their culture. And something else that's very important, for you to officially get a job in Denmark, or citizenship or something of the kind, or something great in that country, you must be fluent in Danish. So you must be speaking that language fluently. And the reason they do that is to grow their culture. I am so glad that Eduserv has opened up a language center, and one of the languages that are being taught is the Danish language. I am very glad, because my first time in Denmark, I had the challenge of language. Yes, people speak English, to be honest, but it also depends on which parts. It's not like how we students usually expect everyone in Denmark to know English. No, it will be a challenge when you have, and not only Denmark doesn't only have the Danish people. There are also other people that are from the European Union, and the English is actually challenging. But then they have been in Denmark for a long time, so they actually learned Danish and not English. So if you speak basic Danish, it's a plus. It will make life easier for you, and it will also be a general plus for you for whatsoever things, for all the time that you will be in Denmark. So I would encourage every agriculture student that plans to enroll for these agricultural programs that Eduserv is offering. I would strongly encourage them to take the Danish language course. Mange tak.